Given that secant of theta equals 2, find the remaining 5 trigonometric functions. There are 6 of them, and 1 is given. First, we draw a triangle with an acute angle theta. Any generic right triangle would do. This is the right triangle with one acute angle being theta. Secant of theta equals 2 is the ratio of hypotenuse over the adjacent. We can think of this as secant of theta is 1 over cosine of theta. But since cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, the reciprocal is hypotenuse over adjacent. Since this is the ratio, we want to turn the given number into a ratio. Any number, any whole number, can be turned to a ratio by putting a number 1 in the denominator. The reason why we want to do this is now 2 over 1 is now a ratio, and it has to be the same as the hypotenuse over the adjacent. There are many ratios that will give us 2, but this is the most convenient one, meaning we simply turn the hypotenuse of this triangle into the length of 2, and the adjacent of this triangle into 1, adjacent to the angle theta. And so, to label this triangle appropriately, the hypotenuse is 2, and the adjacent to the angle theta is 1. Then we find the missing length. Using the Pythagorean theorem, we have what is missing is the opposites. The opposite squared plus the adjacent squared equals the hypotenuse squared. We don't know the opposites, and so we would call it x for now. The adjacent side has the length of 1, and the hypotenuse has the length of 2. X squared plus 1 equals 4, so x squared equals 3. X is therefore the square root of 3. This is the dimension of the triangle, so we do not need to worry about the plus or the minus. Armed with the newfound missing length of the right triangle, we can now write the remaining 5 trigonometric functions. Cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. And tangent of theta is the opposite over adjacent. Secant of theta is 2 over 1, which is given already. Cosecant of theta is the reciprocal of sine, which is 2 over root 3. And cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, which is 1 over root 3. We then need to simplify any of these numbers that need to be simplified. Tangent is simply root 3. For cosecant, we rationalize the denominator to get 2 root 3 over 3. And for cotangent, it is root 3 over 3.